All right, our correspondent Akshay Dongre is joining us to get us more. Akshay, good morning. Now, this is the 34th day of the US shutdown, and we've seen how the people have been affected by it. The shutdown has forced the food aid to be cut to for 42 million Americans. Let us know more as to how this will pan out in the coming few days.
Well, Preeti, you have rightly mentioned that the SNAP program and many of the social security programs that have been going on have been adversely impacted by the shutdown, and perhaps that these are the programs that the U.S. government was talking about. In fact, President Donald Trump had said that the U.S. shutdown is going to give them an opportunity to remove the dead wood,
Yes.
all of the inefficient programs. So perhaps he's talking about these social security programs that have not been very popular amongst the elites in the U.S. because in the capitalistic system of the U.S. government, many have criticized handing over food and these food stamps to the people, and even those who are actually needy, who are at the bottom of the when it comes to the society there in terms of their financial freedom and the kind of adverse impact that they have also received from the U.S. shutdown. It's widespread, and even though the government is not willing to understand, or rather, make amends there, both Democrats and Republicans, the issue is, quite grave for the U.S. economy as well. Now, the reasons for that is you have federal employees that are not working. That you have rightly mentioned the ATC and the other employees involved in the air traffic control and other issues are not at full capacity because they are not receiving their salaries. The flight operations are getting adversely hit, but it's not just the flight operations. Everywhere in most of the areas of the social security issues of many of the federal government wings, people are not working at full capacity, and that is impacting the functioning of the government. It's impacting the economy of the country. It's impacting the personal lives of these people who are employed. However, there have been little to no move, at least in the past few days, by both the parties to have a serious look at the issues and find a solution out of this U.S. government shutdown, which is, as you have rightly mentioned, going to be the longest in the history to Tuesday evening. The world is actually witnessing how this entire situation pans out, because this is going to largely showcase the way the US government is going to work in the next next years, especially under Trump administration. Because the kind of disagreements that both the parties have are quite serious, and the efforts that should have been gone into resolving this shutdown have been negligible. In fact,
Yes,
the
indeed.
US government and president has said that many of the Democrat states are going to bear the brunt in a major manner if the Democrat Party doesn't vote in favor of ending the shutdown and for the policies of budgetary allocation of the U.S. government. That also is a threat. So the situation remains complicated, Preeti.
All right, the situation remains complicated. Yes, it is the 34th day of the strike. And as a quick backgrounder to our viewers, get us more as to what has led to this shutdown. What is the bone of contention between the Democrats and the Republicans?
So in US, the financial year begins from 1st of October, and budgetary allocation has to be done before that. Both the Republicans and the Democrats in Senate and in Congress have to agree to the budgetary allocation that is done. It's similar to a budget that is passed in India's Lok Sabha, the lower house, and then the upper house, where all the parties have to be at least in majority of them should be agreeing to the budgetary allocation, the budget of the country. Similar to that, it happened in the US. There were some contentions about social security programs, about medical issues, medical programs, and the kind of aid that goes into these sectors of social security. Republicans did not agree to Democrats. Democrats did not agree to Republicans in terms of budgetary allocation for these social security programs, and that majorly led to disagreements. They couldn't come to a point. Enough votes couldn't be gathered by the Republican Party, by the U.S. government. So in that case, the government goes into shutdown. Budgetary allocation cannot be done. Many people who are working in federal government cannot get their salaries on time. Many of the social security programs are not do not get their fund to continue. So all of this is continuing since 1st of October. It should have been done in September, and there should have been sort of enough votes gathered by the Republicans, because the onus is on them to run the government. It's not on the Democrats. So they have to bring sort of changes into the budgetary allocation that is also agreeable by the Democrats. So all of this combined has led to this shutdown, and still, since both of them do not agree on the same points, enough votes cannot still be gathered, and the shutdown continues, and now slated to be one of the longest in history.
All right, Akshay, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those inputs.